if in fact that's when it gets made.
I mean, people have been asking me a lot about Jon Jones over the years. I've been a defender of his to an extent. Well, maybe more to than an extent. But the long and short of it is like I am super out of the police Jon Jones behavior business, and by that I mean I think your question is totally fair and fine. But like I could give you an answer like I think he's going to. I have no confidence in it whatsoever, which isn't to say I think he's going to let me down. I really don't know what to make.
Yeah.
Like, I never, ever know what to make. I thought on some level that presser he did on Friday with the media was in some ways good because you want to get out there, not face the music exactly, but not be hiding like Ronda did. It signals a certain kind of issue. But then he's like, the sex pills, I highly recommend it. It's like, Jesus.
Exactly.
Son, like,
exactly.
I don't even care. Well, I don't even care about the PR aspect of it. It's more just.
Don't you
it's
get
more
it?
Just this. Aren't you tired of being involved in headlines that have a dubious look and sound to them? Like, does this not get old? And so for me, it's like, what's he going to do? Is he going to make it to July? I don't know. Is he not? I don't know. I'm truly wait and see.
You hit exactly on the point I was going to make, and I guess great minds think alike. But I don't know if you saw that or not, Frank. But part of that media gaggle that he did, and let's keep in mind, it's not like he's been doing a ton of media, during his hiatus. He just, apropos of nothing, started selling the idea of sex pills to all of us, and he highly recommends it. And let me tell you, there's nothing more awesome than doing this thing, and that's all fine. But given the fact that ties directly to what cost the company and the fans and all the people that traveled out for this thing, the last-minute change in July of last year, you know what it reminded me of, Luke? It reminded me of the time that I heard with my own ears on a conference call, Jon Jones, when he was asked about regrets he had about his first DUI, he said, I'll tell you this, I ruined a beautiful car. You want to talk about something that hurt? Oh, my God. I totaled a beautiful car. And I'm like, what? And that was before the second thing happened. But it's just like, what part of it don't you understand to just go, oh, my God, I'm so lucky to be alive. I'm so thankful nobody was hurt. Just so glad I have a chance to right or wrong, and leave it at that. There's something to me, Frank, and you, of the three of us, I mean, you know him better. But well, I don't know how I don't know. Maybe Luke's out with him all the time. I don't know. I just know Frank knows him. But okay, good. You and me, Luke, we're clean on this deal. Frank's been his running buddy. But I think there is something, Frank, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong, where he's sort of drawn to that. Like there's a mischievous angle to, you know what, I can't quite avoid the temptation to be sitting here and just go ahead and tell everybody how awesome sex pills are. Just because you're listening. What do you think?
I definitely think there's very much of a frat boy type of personality to Jon. And I think that that if we were all in college right now and he was the star quarterback on the football team, I don't think his vocabulary or the way he carries himself would be that shocking. I think it'd be more expected. The problem is that he's that same type of guy, but now he's one of the best fighters, if not the best fighter in the world. Holds the title rank, and he's ran into problems because of that. That mindset has obviously cost him some money inside the cage, and so I don't know if you'll ever be able to change who he is.
Is that a yes? He just can't avoid the temptation.
No,
to
I think
point
that's
it
just
out?
who he is as a person. So I think the only thing is if they completely go through and make sure that he understands questions in the right way to answer them. But anytime you go off the cuff, you get a real genuine answer from the guy. And, and like I said, I don't think Jon's a malicious person at all. I think, he's a decent guy, but just like, I think a frat boy would be the best description of how his personality is, and how he kind of he's not really cross the T's, dot the I kind of guy that, really looks ahead of things. I think, he still has a young man's personality.
Well, let me just say this, Luke. I have decided to embrace the ancillary controversy. I now consider it an added tier of drama. Will John Jones make the fight? It's like questioning, will Johnny Hendricks make weight? The weigh-ins were always more fun when Johnny was on the scale. It's like an old George Jones show from the 70s. They called him No Show Jones for a reason. You bought the concert ticket, but you didn't know if he was even going to make it to...
Well, we'll do the celebrity death match. Are we going to put will John make it and count down the days and do the up and over?
All right, let's do that. Yeah, we'll sell squares like a football pool.
There we go.
All right, I have to apologize because I lied to Luke. I told him we were going to keep him a shorter amount of time than we did, but that's your fault, Luke, because you're so damn engaging. So I want to apologize for that first. Should we apologize to Mrs. Thomas? Is she okay with this, or is she long suffering?
She's on a business trip. I'm good.
All right.
Well, actually, we didn't really finish.
Right.
If you don't mind, before you take off, Luke, we kind of didn't really finish our opinion of what. I know we went off on the tangent of basically the New York Athletic Commission sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Somehow we got onto John again.
Yeah. All roads lead back.
But the Weidman, the stoppage on how it was just. It was a nutty stoppage. Like I thought, in my opinion, the referee comes back in and says, "Okay, it's not an illegal knee," but then the doctors to stop the fight again. Under what criteria? It wasn't even like he took a hellacious knee. They were hitting him. I'm not saying they were, but it wasn't like he lost. Tension in his body and motor skill control. Like it wasn't like he was rocked by the knee. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't hurt, but they didn't seem like hellacious shots where there were fight deciding factors. And I've seen people fight back from way worse. I don't know why they didn't just restart the fight.
Luke, does that? What do you think?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think a lot of people have wondered that. So here's my understanding. In fact, if you guys are Fight Pass subscribers, you can go and you can hear it for yourself. You can hear Big Dan talking to people, and you can hear him talking to doctors and whatnot. Basically, what happens is Big Dan puts Mousasi in a neutral corner. He then calls in one ringside physician, a balding older gentleman. He comes and evaluates Weidman. That doctor calls in a second doctor. That second doctor comes in. They do, I don't know what you call them, not field sobriety tests, but they mirror those, right? Coordination, motor skills.
Flashlight in the eyes and follow my light.
Right. They do. Yeah, they do the whole bit. And then they both declare to Dan Mergliotta that he cannot continue. Apparently, if you listen to the audio, and I went and read the transcript, they asked him among a series of questions, one of which was, do you know what month it is? He said February. And I think they asked him what day it was. He didn't know that either. And I think he had failed a series of other medical examinations. I certainly am not a doctor. I don't know what they saw that made them do that. But in New York, a doctor has, whenever they want, the right to stop a fight. When they told him it was over, that's a wrap.
Well, listen, Frank gets. I've been there. You get questions like that wrong all the time, and you hadn't fought since March.
Well, no, I've had people question. I remember one time, you're in a fight. Fuck, I don't know what fucking month it is right now. But even if I haven't been hit, that happened to me when I was fighting Junior Dos Santos. First round, I sit on the stool, and the guy comes over. Do you know where you're at? And I forgot where the fight occurred at. I was either at MGM Grand or I was at Mandalay Bay. And when they asked me at the time, I'm like, I'm at Mandalay Bay. And I think I was really at MGM Grand.
Yeah.
Fuck, I fought at both. I don't know. I'm in the middle of a fight right now. I'm a little distracted with other shit that's going on in my life right now than knowing what time of day it is. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a little preoccupied right now. And had, so I think asking him those questions at times, it's like, well, shit, man. Like, the guy has a lot going on. He's stressed out that you're going to stop the fight, Like, I don't know. I think that, like, it's a fighting, man. We're not playing tennis. Like, for the love of God, like, relax. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it was that much of an issue for him to continue on. I mean, the way it wasn't like he was stumbling and moving around. And I know I'm not a physician, but, to get, certain questions wrong, like what month it was, it's like, I mean, when did the fight, fuck, if you ask me right now when the fight occurred, I don't know what date it was on,
Yeah. I think all that's got to be taken into consideration. I think the big takeaway is just going to be that there's going to be a lot of discussion revolving around the New York State Athletic Commission as we move toward having more and more MMA fights in New York. Oh, you got to be careful what you ask for. We wanted this for a long time. Now we got it, and with that will come more responsibility.
On a side note on that one too, I go. When I go shooting, we'll do things where we put each other under duress. And I've seen it in other things where people will be under duress, hitting the bag or whatever, and you'll screw with them. You'll say, hey, okay, give them a math problem.
I'm sorry. I have to explain this to Luke real quick, because Luke lives in the D.C. area where guns are regulated to some degree. Unlike Mirror Manor here.
The good guys don't have guns. All the bad guys do.
Here's what he's doing, Luke.
Because D.C.'s a pretty rough area.
Normal gun enthusiasts just go to the gun range and they shoot them. Frank likes to go to a gun range where they have you do like push-ups and have you jump out of a speeding car and barrel roll onto the ground and come up in a sniper position, things like that. That's what he's talking about.
My point being is that anybody can play this game. Go to the gym, work out real hard. In the middle of it, have your workout partner go, all right, what's 24 divided by 6?
Yeah.
Something that if you and I were just having a conversation, almost everybody can go, boom, and 4, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but if all of a sudden your heart rate's elevated, not with head contact, just that you're pumped up with adrenaline, answer a simple question sometimes can be difficult. So I think that both those physicians have never been athletes in their entire life. I doubt either one of them even knows where a treadmill would be at the gym. If you look at their whole, I mean, the one girl, I'm like, really? She's checking people's health? Someone needs to give her
Well, Frank's on fire tonight with the opinions.
But I mean, that's screwed up, man. Guys train hard for fights. Let them fight. I mean, obviously, I don't think on guys getting, their careers ended. But I think that, Weidman deserved the opportunity to fight back. You ask a guy, first of all, do you want to fight? And he says, yes. Okay, well, take a step towards me. That's all they ever do in boxing. A guy gets knocked down with a concussion. If he can walk towards you and rub his hands against your shirt, they rubbed off the gloves, they let you continue. Why all of a sudden does the Athletic Commission now in New York decide that they have to ask you a series of questions? Are they going to do that in every boxing match now? If someone gets knocked down, when you let him up for the standing 8 count because he has received a concussion, before you let it continue, you're going to ask him a series of questions before he goes on. I mean, that's the equivalent of what I think is occurring. It's like, even if it was a standing 8 count, which we don't have in MMA, but if you felt that he took a concussion, the requirements in most striking sports only make it, if you could take 3 or 4 steps and don't look like you're going to fall flat on your face, they let it continue.
And Luke, this whole thing's getting appealed, I think, right? Weidman's folks are filing some kind of appeal, so we'll see where that goes. Yeah, let's. All right, Luke, let's go ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, just very quickly. Yeah. He will likely appeal. But this is the other thing that commissions have done to shield themselves. They only really allow appeals under egregious mistakes, like if the judge, for example, doesn't count the numbers correctly on the card, or if they can prove collusion among officiators, but merely for not impropriety, but merely for not
just
following
being a fuck up.
The letter of the law. Yeah, there's not. You're asked out of luck. I mean, there's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, he's not going to win. I mean, because isn't it he has to appeal to them?
Yeah.
I mean, already. I mean, you've seen the one guy. I mean, the guy that doesn't know where. Never watched the weigh-in and saw a guy blatantly pushing down on a towel and has no clue. I mean, you'd think they'd prep him a little bit, be like, hey, by the way, DC was pushing on the thing, like the whole media is going to, this is where they're going. And no, he went at it. And when you guys asked the questions, he's like, well, if he was holding the towel, it would have made him weigh more. It's like, no, he's telling you.
I think, and then Brett Okamoto was like, no, it wouldn't. And the guy was like, it wouldn't? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
He didn't try to defend the point at all. Yeah, it was great stuff.
I think he missed the point there. I'm like, hey, look, I know we all get to show up and wear suits and get ringside or cage side tickets, but you're supposed to do a job. Like how do people get jobs in the Athletic Commission? Is it just like if you're buddies with somebody?
A question for another podcast right there, Frank. Let's make a note of it, though, because it is a good one. All right, Luke, we got to tell everybody how to reach you, man, how to hear the show, SiriusXM 93 Rush. That's where I hear you, the Luke Thomas Show. I don't miss that. It's a big part of my commute back and forth to the brothel, as a matter of fact. So just know that you're in the car with me as I'm driving out to the southern Nevada desert. They can also follow. Let's just you do it. Tell everybody where they can reach you and follow you and all that.
I mean, the best place to follow me as sort of a central hub, I'm on Twitter at SBN Luke Thomas, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Luke Thomas News. All my work goes there, but I do 3 podcasts for MMA fighting. I do the Monday Morning Analyst on Monday, the live chat tomorrow on Wednesday, whenever this airs, and then on Thursdays I go to New York, I do the MMA Beat, and then I do my radio show, and then I write articles. I'm a busy man, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Frank,